we're gonna do a little bench press today. Feeling pretty good. I have the back spasms are still not frequent, but they're still there. It's so weird. Like the peak of pain went away within like a week, and then I've been dealing just with this like mild discomfort for going on 5 weeks now, which has been a little bit frustrating, obviously. I've tried to get under the bar a couple times. Hasn't really worked. So we're just gonna keep taking what we can get. Bench has been feeling pretty good. So today we've got a set of 6 as our top RPE 8 to 9 set. So I'm hoping to get around 140. And then the back off volume is 135 kilos. So we're gonna see where we're at. You know, I'm feeling burnt out isn't the right word, but just a lack of intensity or effort or want or desire to train right now, just because I can't really do 2 of the 3 main lifts. And you know, I'm trying not to make any like grand sweeping choices right now, obviously in the midst of an injury, but it just feels like every time I get close to a competition, something happens. So, you know, just trying to remove some of those negative thoughts and replace them with positive thoughts. Positive thoughts are my bench press has been going really well. I'm losing weight at a pretty good clip, and the hunger really hasn't crept up. I'm experiencing a little bit of fatigue in the gym due to the diet, but we're down 13 pounds, I think. A lot of that was water weight, obviously. So realistically, I think we're down maybe 7 or 8 in the first 4 weeks of the diet, which is a pretty good clip. I mean, obviously it's going to slow down as it goes, but I'm trying to get to 300, and then I'll probably take a diet break and then try and get down to 280 towards the end of the year. So we've got 19 pounds to go to get to 300. Started at 335. That's positive. So that's what we're going to focus on here. All right, I've done some of my soft tissue warm-ups. I'm going to get under the bar and hopefully get a solid set of 6 with 140. I went and saw Sinners yesterday, which was a pretty good movie. So if you're looking for something to do, I would recommend you go see it in theaters, man. It's one of those movies that deserves to be seen in theaters, preferably on IMAX. A little bit of stiffness in this right shoulder. But yeah, I guess when I retired, quote unquote, or stopped working in movies, I kind of lost a lot of the passion that I had for film. If you guys didn't know, I worked in the movie industry. You know, that's what I got a degree in, and I worked for about 8 months before COVID hit. Yeah. So pretty bad timing on my part, but you know, I had a lot of fun with it. But I say that to say, when I retired from the movies and started working in fitness, I lost a lot of that passion. I used to be a film guy, and a lot of that went away. But I think recently I've been re-engaging with a lot of movies, and that's felt really good. Kind of a good escape. All that to say, go see Sinners in theaters. We need big genre movies like that. The music's incredible. So give it a go. I just got a lens alert. So God only knows how much longer this vlog is gonna go. All right, I'm jumping into a little bit of a lighter warm-up just because of the stiffness in my shoulder. Usually I'll go 1 red to 2 reds, but I want to give myself a little gap warm-up set to see how it feels. Yeah, that one felt a lot better. I think we're on track here. All right, so jump to 2 reds. That really freaked me out with the camera. I've got to film an event actually this weekend here in the gym. I'm doing the live stream for a meet it will already be done by the time this video comes out, but I want to make sure all the equipment's working, so hopefully the lens doesn't fail on me. All right, we'll be back. Last warm-up. That one felt much better with the yellows on there. I think because I was tucking my elbows a little bit more, which I don't love to do, but on days like today where the shoulder just doesn't want to seem to cooperate. I don't know, it's 3 full weeks of fatigue. The shoulder starts to feel a little bit iffy. Nothing too terrible. Oh. All right. We'll go 140. 6 reps. I'm confident. I'm just, like I said, that fire is just not here. This is one of those discipline days where you just come into the gym, get the best you can. But it seems like more and more sessions are taking that, or becoming that lack of fire, that just, you know, kind of get in, get out type. Which is, like I said at the top, just frustrating, man. Not just because this is one of my main hobbies, but it's also kind of my livelihood. You know, making these videos and coaching. And so, you know, it just feels like when you have a string of not bad sessions, because the weight is moving, like everything feels good intra-session, but it's just a chore to get in here. It's a chore to do anything related to lifting or dieting. When you don't have that passion, I'm a passion-driven person when it comes to my coaching, so just find that it's more of a chore. It's more of a chore to do everything related to lifting. But I've had these seasons before and I've come out of them stronger. So it's just kind of put your head down, keep working through it, and you know, it'll sort itself out. Gotta get 6. I'm confident. I think I finally hit a set on the appropriate RPE prescription with that. That felt like a solid 8. It does just feel like maybe I'm losing connection with the pec. I don't know, it just feels off balance a little bit, but I'm happy with that. Seems like my brain is starting to work again in terms of weight selection. It's always a good sign when, you know, I call out a weight selection at the beginning of a workout and I actually hit it. That to me indicates that I've got a pretty decent connection with where my strength is on the day. Okay, so I think it's 135 for 4s. I got a set of 4 here. Oh, my upper traps, man. Sore, stiff. They don't tell you that holding a baby is its own workout. But I'll tell you what, my traps feel like it is. Solid. Felt like I got a better arch that time. All right, film one more, and then we'll jump to close grip. Bench, got a lot of pressing today. Close grip, and then we got incline after that. Technically an AMRAP, and I'm gonna try for more than 4. But again, I've talked about this before. I'm just finding it so difficult to remove the anchoring point of 4 reps based on the fact that I just did, you know, a couple sets at 4 reps. That has been really difficult. But I'm gonna try and break past that anchoring point, get as many as we can. Ugh. My grip was all off on that. I think we got 5. Again, I probably could have gone 6 or 7, but I didn't have a spotter behind me. So I just took the safer route. Close grip. I've taught close grip to death, you know. 2 fingers in from your competition grip. Try and keep the elbows close. I like a close grip bench, but at a certain point, you know, there's only so much you can say about it. I will say though, if I'm making a tier list of bench press adjacent movements, close grip is at the top or close to the top, depending on my mood. That actually feels really light. The other thing I will say with close grip is I touch a little bit lower. So like on normal bench, I'm like right at my solar plexus. Close grip, I'm a little bit lower so that I can just get into tricep extension and press out. Just anything to get a little bit more tricep activation. I don't know if that's just a me thing or if that's something that would translate, but it could be something that you could try. All right, I'll film the last set. 2 things. I completely forgot to film the rest of the close grip bench, so my apologies on that one. But also, I just wanted to follow up a little bit on, you know, just the feeling of not having energy or not really wanting to be in the gym. I know that that is a common feeling with a lot of my clients. More so when I was doing personal training, you find that a lot of powerlifters kind of have that internal motivation. A lot of personal training clients, not to beat them up, but it's a different thing. You know, either they're told by a family member, their doctor, you know, just general societal pressure and ideas that, you know, they need to lose weight or whatever, which makes sense. I think it is important to be in the gym. I think it's important to gain muscle mass. I think it is important to be at a healthy body weight. But they maybe don't have that internal drive and desire to get stronger, to get bigger, to lose weight, whatever. So they're, you know, getting external pressures. External pressures are tough because at a certain point, either you stop feeling the external pressure or the external pressure just doesn't motivate you in the same way. And so hopefully my tactic has always been, if they come in for the external pressures, through the workouts, we can start to build some of that internal motivation so that they continue to train. I need to apply that to myself. And my internal pressure is really strong. For whatever reason, I have built a pretty rock solid habit of coming into the gym even when I don't want to. And it's been 3 weeks of not wanting to, but I'm still here. I haven't missed a single workout in a single day. I've gotten through each and every training session. So I just want to, you know, congratulate myself first and foremost, but also say, you know what, if you are dealing with a period of lax motivation or whatever it is, if you have built up that internal desire to get better, to get stronger, whatever your want is, and you are fulfilling that desire by coming into the gym, by eating on your diet, by getting your steps, by getting good sleep, that's a win, even if you don't want to do it. So I'm trying to tell myself that, to remind myself that. and to just stop being so hard on myself, man. So from me to you, stop being so hard on yourself. You're doing good work if you're following through on the things that you said that you wanted to do. We got incline bench, rep match sets. So the first set is 10. And then we'll see what we can get. I've been going really light on these because I am trying to flare a little bit more. So, oh man, this is way too low. Oh, whatever. That was really easy. I don't know whether to raise the weight or just keep rocking with this. I'll probably just keep rocking with it. Can always raise it next week. Feeling pretty good. I got 10 across the board, which makes sense. I mean, this is really undershot. Probably should have gone like 185. I think I was just in my head about how my shoulder was feeling on the other presses. But it's okay. You live and learn. Next week we'll just, make a note in the program and get a more appropriate weight. Yeah, those, I'd say the last 2 or 3 reps were the only really effective reps. Whatever. Rear delt flies. One of the most important things that I think a lot of people miss with rear delt flies is the actual level of the seat. People would just sit down without adjusting it at all, and they'll be so over the top or below it that they're really not effectively getting the rear delt, or they're putting themselves in positions that hurt, so they avoid the exercise completely. Something that you want to do to find your perfect, quote unquote, height is to sit, put your arms straight out, and if you are reaching the handles, like I am right here, you are realistically in a good enough spot to get something out of the exercise. If you're up here or you're down here, fix the seat. Take the extra 10 seconds to fix the seat to actually get something out of the machine rather than just check another box, right? The other thing is you want to plant the top of your chest on the bench rather than fully go completely into the bench. So I like to have my butt a little bit far back on the seat, lean into the bench like so, and then we can fly like this so that we can really try and emphasize just the rear delts. Obviously, a little bit of traps are going to get involved here. That's just part of the anatomy. But we want to stay flared. Basically, think about just driving the elbows back and letting the hands kind of follow through. Also, I like to kind of keep, as best I can, my shoulder blades pinned behind me so that I can emphasize the rear delt. I have no idea how many that was, but we'll take it. So those are my rear delt tips. I think that this machine can be incredibly valuable. I think a lot of powerlifters specifically neglect their rear delts. So some type of isolation rear delt movement, whether it's on the cable, dumbbell rear delt flies, or the machine, I would encourage you to throw into the program. It'll really help. It helps a ton with carryover to the bench press. Having a strong back, having a strong core, and having a strong base on the bench is really going to help you with stability. And stability leads to a stronger press. Oh no. Jonah, look out, you're gonna tear a pec doing a pec fly. Just a little joke, my friends. I know a lot of people are afraid of this exercise. Makes sense. Getting your pec into a stretch position can feel really uncomfortable. Couple tips. I like to do them on an incline rather than a flat bench, so I have a little bit more control. And again, approaching the pec fly the same way that you would approach a press. Shoulders retracted, arched, allow for a deep stretch, but not so deep. And then bring the dumbbells together, slow and controlled. People get into trouble they use too much weight, or they just don't care about their technique and they allow their arms to kind of flare back and forth. That's how you're gonna get a pec tear. Not inherently by doing the exercise, right? So I'm gonna take a lot of time to get into my retracted position, stretch slow, come back up. The other thing you get with dumbbells is the ability to make micro adjustments on either hand so that you're really not forced into an uncomfortable position. When you're pressing with a barbell, you know, the barbell's not gonna bend. With a dumbbell, I don't know if you could see, but I would make slight micro adjustments as I was going down, get my elbow in a better place, take some of the pressure off my shoulder, really try and isolate the pec. Practicing these movements allows you to better connect with the movements. The mind-muscle connection isn't just about, you know, growth. It's also about finding positions of relative comfort and positions where you can express strength or express a stretch or express the muscle specifically in the way that you want it to. So that was just 10 reps, but I take this very light most of the time with a little bit lower volume than the rest of my stuff, just because I do have a propensity for shoulder pain. But getting in that arch position allows me to take a lot of the pain off of the front delt, put a lot of the stretch on the pec, and just get something out of the movement. So don't be afraid inherently of movements. I'm of the belief that there are no really terrible movements. There are worse movements and there are better movements. But if you're doing most movements in a controlled tempo with weight that you can handle, injuries at that point just become random. It's not like something you did then caused the injury. Sometimes we do run into random injuries, but you can safely assume that it wasn't your technique or overloading that caused the injury if you are following those parameters. So just a couple check marks when you're doing this exercise. Please don't be afraid of this. It's a good, solid chest builder, especially after you've already fatigued the chest with some pressing. I really like it as a finisher, just a way to get a deeper stretch, to really focus on the last third of the stretch and then come back up. So those are my 2 cents on the pec fly. Moving on, we've got tricep pushdowns. And I realize I don't often talk about this exercise because I figure everybody knows how to do it. But one thing I do want to comment on is whether or not you need to remain completely upright. So a lot of people will approach the tricep pushdown with a completely upright spine, press down like this, come back up, keep the elbows tucked in. This is a perfectly fine way to do the exercise. Another perfectly fine way to do the exercise is to get a little bit more of a bend over, press, and come back up. This mimics a little bit more of a dip. The main thing that I will say that's important to keep track of is not which one's better, but which one did you start with on week 1 of your program and which one are you using now. If you started with a rigid straight back, keep that same posture throughout so you can actually tell if you're getting better, adding more mechanical tension to the tricep, or you're just shifting to get a little bit more. This is going to be inherently easier. You're going to be able to generate more force in more of a bent over position. So let's say the first 2 weeks you're upright, cool, adding weight, and then week 3, you get to a point where you've added a little bit too much weight and you start to hinge forward and press more so than your rigid extension of the triceps. Realistically, you don't know, is your tricep still getting solid mechanical tension, or have you shifted positions to get more out of the movement? So just be honest with yourself. You know, a lot of people hate it when I say this, but film your stuff. It's important. You get, you know, some perspective. So for me, I adopt a more bent over posture because I find that it mimics kind of my pressing a little bit. Nice. Solid set of 12 there. All right, that'll do it. Hopefully you got something out of this video. If you did, subscribe, like, share, all the stupid stuff that I'm supposed to say. If you want to run Jacked and Tan 2.0, there's a link in the bio, in the description for Boost Camp. If you use the code that is attached to that link, you get 2 free weeks of premium. So pretty good deal. Check it out, see what you think. Again, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Part of the discipline that I've been leaning on has been wanting to make these vlogs and continue to make content. So that has been a real help in getting me into the gym in times when I don't want to be in the gym. So I do appreciate that. Get strong and stay strong.